Soldier on, my good countrymen, keep fighting for your children now. Keep fighting for your land.
Right, we're in a very cold and snowy Hamburg. It's 3 in the morning. I can't sleep. It's quite often in my life that that's the case, but I also think nighttime is conducive for our spiritual growth because there's a lot of peace and quiet, no distraction. But at the same time, I wish I was asleep, but I can't sleep. And I thought I'd talk about why. So I think sometimes people don't convey what spiritual teachings are about. It's in the most part, for me, it's about keeping your heart open. So as when you meet someone who might need you, that you have enough energy and you're compelled immediately to help them. And you will try to help them without putting any sort of pointless doubt in the way. I know you can't see me well, I apologise, but and by that I mean, say you meet a homeless person and you want to just buy them a sandwich. I mean, realistically, we could all sit down and talk to them and say, why are you homeless? What do you need to end this? Is there anything you've got, any skills? Do you need help trying to find a job? Maybe you need help finding a place to stay. We could all do it. Really, we could all do it. But we don't. So for me, spiritual practice is about keeping your heart open to the degree that when you do meet someone who needs you, that you can help them. But at the same time, that you can love your family and your friends and not hurt them with any volatile behaviour and such. I'll go this way, I don't know where I am. And it allows you to be a better, for me, better father, better husband, if my heart's more open. But it's also really hard to live your life with your heart so open, and that's what spiritual practice does for people. It opens up and gives you more connectivity with your feelings and your emotions and your empathy, and I feel those are the highest qualities of a human being. And I think if more people could express and have those flowing through them, then we would see so few of the nightmarish and hellish problems we see on the planet. But living with your heart open is difficult. I'm the sort of person who can see a child's bicycle here in Hamburg, as I just did not long ago, covered in snow, and it makes me want to cry. Overwhelmed feeling because it's sweet and beautiful and cute, but also because somewhere in my subconscious I'm well aware that our children will never have that pleasure and that joy of having a bicycle each. More than likely, maybe when they're older, but certainly not while they're in the care of Share Tanzania. Well, presumably not. You know, might be able to get a few for them to share, but that would be about it. So it's hard to have your heart open like that all the time, and I can understand also why people prefer to stay in the more cynical or pessimistic side of life, or the other negative attributes we see from overly used intellects, like patronizing sort of personalities and selfishness, or people who suffer in the other way and they battle with guilt and jealousy and greed and all those things, and those who think that they can only be happy with acquiring this good, etc. They all need spiritual practice. They all could do with growing the empathy of their hearts. But life's hard when you're like that, and you don't want to feel that way, and you feel everything, and it stings and it hurts when you're empathetic. Life hurts. Life hurts a hell of a lot when you have empathy. And at the same time, you get the other side of the spectrum. You get to experience great joy and great love, but sometimes it doesn't outweigh the pain. And the pain is profound when you're sensitive to the world. And it's almost relentless. And Satan, as I would call it, the negative aspects of life. I have no idea where I am. Not good for me to be lost. Oh, I know where I am. The negative part of life that wants to drag you down, or whatever you want to call the positive and negative of life. The way I am read and learned, I call it Satan. I know other people will just have other labels, and that's fine. But when the negative side of life, or Satan as I would say, pulls you down, he'll make use of you when you're sensitive. He'll want to hurt you. He'll want to try and stop you from doing the good that you want to do. You know, people will embrace that negative side of consciousness and just be shallow and hurt you for simply trying to do nice things. That will happen. But not everyone in the world is going to love you. You know, not everyone in the world loves God, so how can you expect everyone in the world to love you? But it doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't make the pain any less. And the problem I feel with it is, because I'm using YouTube, it's getting a bit worse for me, to be honest with you. And some of the problems I'm facing are that it's affecting my life, where I'm feeling something and I feel obligated to share with you all. It was like with me being sick, because everyone had donated, I felt really obligated to keep posting updates on my Facebook, and then I just said I feel so uncomfortable having to post all this all the time. I don't mind speaking from my heart, but I just want some privacy while I'm sick and recovering. So I wrote a post kind of saying, hey, yeah, you know, my body's fucked, and it's a battle. You know, life is a battle for me at the moment. Just being able to go for a walk, I'll suffer for this walk when I go home. Life's not that straightforward and easy for me. It's fucking damn hard. And I've got children who are terminally ill, who I love dearly, who are my children. I've got friends who have just been murdered. I just found out I was poisoned, more than likely. And then at the same time, I'm trying to spin all these plates to keep money coming in for children who need to eat and get medical care, and who literally die without it. And it's alright saying it's not your responsibility. I'm there now. Whose responsibility is it? If I back out, they're fucked. Literally, they'll just starve to death. They'll die. That is exactly what will happen to many of the special needs kids. It's what will happen. It's not unusual in that culture for that to happen. It's not rare, you know. Recently, as you know, I went on outreach to find some kids, and they'd already died before I got there. And then on top of all that, of course, I have these things going on inside me, and it takes time to process all of that. Children dying that you didn't manage to get to in time, or children dying in your arms, or friends dying, or, you know, you're watching your children die slowly, and it's bloody hard work. Not to mention, I still don't know. I still never bothered counting, but I can't count how many dogs have died in my arms that I've nursed out there, that have had parvo and distemper and everything. And it just destroys your heart, guys. It absolutely wrecks you, and you've got no armour. You've got no way to protect yourself. You've got nothing left anymore after a few years of it. And my body's a wreck from all this sickness now. You know, I can't even use my tools like running, etc. And when I say a wreck, I mean it's a wreck. You know, like, so much is not working in my body. We're talking organs failing, etc. You know, I don't know if I'll ever get better from this. I just don't know. And then with YouTube, you have these feelings and you think, oh, Should I be sharing that? And sometimes while I'm trying to process emotions, my carnal mind's stepping in and going, maybe that should be in a video. And I'm like, where's the cutoff here? Where do I stop sharing who I am with the world, and where do I manage to have who I am for myself? And Fritzy even said to me the other day, she said, like, I try my best to be as authentic as I can on YouTube. And she said, but she doesn't like to watch me on YouTube because she'd rather talk to the real me, because YouTube me's not her John. And I thought, well, if the YouTube me's not her John, then who the hell is he? You know, and I'm trying to be authentic. I think all YouTubers face that problem, so I made the YouTube ego video. It's hard, and it's affecting me. And I'm not saying this to say I'm like, you know, gonna shut down YouTube. I can't. I cannot stop posting on the channel. And it's true that if I post on different topics, then we lose on the algorithm because people are not interested in watching charity work. This is just it. Charity YouTube channels don't succeed. You see it. Just go and look. They've all got very few subs. Even charities that are immeasurably bigger than ours have way less subs and views because it's just not popular to watch charity work. People have their own problems. They don't want to sit down at night and tune into the problems of everybody else. But I rely on people finding us and those problems, because whereas in the West at least we stand a fighting chance of getting out of them so as we can eat and have a bed, the children don't. They don't have that fighting chance. We are the fighting chance, those of us who are willing to share from the countries where we have the correct amount of resources flowing around. If we can use some temperance, then we can send some of those resources to stop ultimately living hell for kids. So, for me, I'm going to turn around. I'm walking too far from home here. For me, I'm just trying to voice a few things. It's unsettling me. I want to try and find new income for the charity. I need fundraisers, I need whatever, grants. I don't know what we're going to do to sort it out, but something has to give way, because this is not sustainable. As it is at the moment, it's not sustainable. Many people have said, oh, you're back, because you can see my energy's back and I'm making better videos. But we got into really deep shit when I wasn't making many videos because people weren't donating, because they couldn't see what was going on. And we have our battles, and it's just constant stress, you know. But then, as I started this video to say, when you're always working to keep your heart open, my fight now is I'm fighting to keep it open because I don't want it to close off from all the stress. Because when it closes off, I'll stop pushing for the kids, you know. Because when I was sick, I had to close it off, and I just had to stop pushing. And everybody suffered because of it, and we're still at the tail end of that problem now. So I thought I'd just voice some of the reality of what's going on at Share Tanzania, you know. It's not so romantic as many might think. I'm the director of over 100 staff. I'm managing accounts, I'm managing medical teams, I'm managing education, I'm managing a construction site, I'm managing social media, I'm managing my own health. I've got a newborn son. I'm trying to be a father to all these children who look at me as father figures, so they all come with advice, and it's hard to keep up, guys. When you have children who come to you with their problems and talk to you about them, and then 2 weeks later they come back and you can't quite remember what the problem was because you've had so many others talk to you about their problems in between, it's unreal, guys. It's totally unreal, and it's not sustainable. And I have to change something. Something has to give way. And I even started trying to put some distance between myself and some of the children, because I wanted them to start turning to other team members as confidants, guardians, etc. So I thought best I just spend less time. For instance, at Angels Gate, I spent very little time there last year, partially because I was sick, but partially because I made a conscious choice to distance myself So the boys would lean more on the staff instead of looking at me as Baba, because it's like a cultural thing that the head of the family is the head of the family, and they view it as a family, which is nice, instead of feeling they're in the care of an institution. But it's also not healthy, because it's not a family, a traditional family, and thus I can't follow traditional family roles, as in I can't be a traditional father and be the confidant for every single child. Like, it doesn't compute as... Oh, I'm gonna get wet if I go that way. It doesn't compute. It doesn't work. You know, we're not made to have litters of babies, and that's why we can't have 100 children. We can't have 20 children, you know, and be a decent parent. It's just not possible. So, I'm just putting that out there, just a bit of truth from the depths of my mind and heart as I wander in the beautiful snowy Hamburg tonight. And I thought I'd show you a glimpse into that side of it. Right, I love you guys. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, as it really helps us to grow the channel and with it help more children here in Tanzania. Also, don't forget you can support our work by sharing with children in crisis here, be it sharing for a particular need or even sharing one-on-one support for education, housing, food and medical care. It can be done for as little as the cost of a cup of coffee a week back in the West after all. Just visit www.sharetanzania.co.uk to find out more. Lastly, remember you can also support us via Patreon, www.patreon.com/featherstail, and help keep us here in Tanzania to continue our work. The links for the website and for the Patreon are in the description box of this video. Love and light, guys. See you soon.